We will not copyright or trademark that. We do not have the rights to this at all. Please do not sue us. Thank you.
Hi, and welcome to These Unprecedented Gays, a new podcast starring Paul Smith and Joe Granelli. Follow us at tugayspod on Instagram. New episodes every Friday. We hope you enjoy. Hi everyone, I'm Paul.
And I'm Joe.
And we're These Unprecedented Gays. So, we're going to do a little getting to know each other. Joe and I are friends, and we live in San Diego. But you know what? It's good for you guys to know some stuff, and I don't know that much about Joe personally.
And I know everything about Paul. I actually don't. And also, this is good to let you guys know who we are. So hopefully you'll get to know a little bit more about us. We'll get to know ourselves a little bit better. And hopefully we have some fun questions. We don't know the questions that we're about to ask each other.
Right, so we're going to do 10 questions each. We wrote them down, or I wrote mine down, and Joe used his computer, because that's how old of a difference there is.
The age gap is nothing, but also we're here to span all sorts of ages to give you a great take on life.
And so we haven't shown each other or told each other what these questions are going to be. So some of them might be serious, some of them might be fun, but they're all going to get answered. So
they will indeed.
Do you want to start? Or do you want me to start?
I'll ask my first question. Okay, so my first question. So I have a lot of more fun ones, not really super serious, but I can edit as needed. So I have a laptop. So my first question is: if you could be an article of clothing, what would you be and why?
Boxer briefs, because it holds the junk up.
Oh, damn, that was quick. All right, then.
I'm not playing around.
Okay, then. And so do we want to answer our questions too, or do we want to just go back and forth?
Let's just go back and forth.
Okay, go ahead.
Be easy. So, tell me your favorite food.
Oh, God, okay. Oof. I feel like that's a tough one. One food that I would eat for the rest of my life. Okay. I'm going to have to say pizza. So, I have a huge sweet tooth, and I was going to say chocolate chip cookies, but I don't think that's sustainable to just eat forever. But I love pizza, and I could do a little, throw them for a loop kind of thing, because you can make a pizza cookie. So, that should all work.
So, check us out on tugayspod on Instagram, and you can see which one of us actually eats pizza on a regular basis and which one of us doesn't.
Paul is beautiful. It's so true.
In my roundness.
Round is a great shape, and it's a beautiful shape.
All right, what's your next question?
Okay, so kind of prevalent to the current season, since we're going into quote-unquote fall, even though we don't really have fall in Southern California. But what is your favorite season and why?
Ooh, I like winter because I've only lived in Florida or San Diego, so the weather is always it's cold, but it's not snow. So, but I love wearing big sweaters and scarves and things, and I love just opening up windows and doors and having the house be comfortable enough for me. And I love when I go to bed, I have to have a big blanket. It has to be super cold in the room, so that's perfect. I don't have to turn on the air conditioner.
Saving those electricity bills. Have you been in snow?
So I have been in snow. The worst was actually when my husband and I went to Jersey, and it was after. Actually, to be honest, it wasn't during the snow. It was actually after the snow. But it was 8 feet high, and I'm where did that come from?
Yeah, I'm not used to the snow. My mom's from Pennsylvania, and she hates the snow. And I feel a lot of the listeners are going to be if you live in the snow, you're going to be we hate the snow. Don't like the snow. You guys are from California or Florida. You don't know what it is. But I like to look at the snow.
But I will tell you this. I was in Drake, Massachusetts, visiting some friends, and I was with my ex at the time. And all of a sudden, we're doing this bobsledding downhill or something like that, and I see this curtain of snow coming towards us. And it wasn't a lot. It was just a light drizzle of snow, but it's like you could see it coming over, almost like somebody was pulling a curtain back, and it was just like, here it comes, and it was like the most beautiful sight. But I was just like, what's that?
I think you need to clear your glasses. It's getting foggy. I'm all about like a snowy Christmas. If you celebrate Christmas, I think that's cool. But I'm like, I don't want to have to shovel it, and then it like melts and gets into soot or slate or whatever.
Well, also like the thing that was weird for us is like we went back in February, and it was we had a funeral to go to, and they couldn't bury the person in February because the ground was still so hard. So
like frozen.
Right. So we had the funeral without the burial, and then they were going to bury them later in the year in spring when the ground was a little bit softer so they could actually dig a hole.
What did they do from winter
I don't
to
know.
spring?
Leave them out because it's cold out though.
We're just gonna freeze your family member. Don't worry, they're preserved. It's fine. Just come back
some
later.
of the snow. You saw that 8-foot-high snow on the side of the road. We're just gonna use some of that.
That's crazy. So then they just waited.
Yeah. So they just had to wait until like spring.
I mean, that doesn't. I feel like in California we don't have to worry about that.
All right. So what about your favorite movie?
Man, you're giving me the hard ones. I feel like those questions are tough because it's hard to
just... Barbara Walters right now.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for 2020. I feel like it's tough because I can't just pick one. So
I'm just going to tell you mine. Mine's Grease 2.
Okay.
And people pick on me about that a lot because I really love Grease 2.
I'm trying to think of a movie that I could watch time and time again. And I feel like I love The Holiday with Cameron Diaz, Jack Black. Oh gosh,
it's funny because I was just thinking about that movie where we're talking about winter, and I was just like, "Oh yeah, The Holiday."
I watched that. I'll watch that any time of the year. But I think it depends on the genre. But I think if like I want like a foolproof, I'm gonna say like stereotypically, like I love Mean Girls. Miss Congeniality 2. I honestly, it's like.
We like the sequels.
But I'm gonna come out and say I'm a Sandra Bullock like diehard fan. I didn't realize this until like I looked at all of her movies and I'm like, okay, I really like all of her movies. I like Speed. I like Miss Congeniality 1. The second one, the Bird Box that she did, which was kind of weird. The one Ocean's 8 that she did recently, like. I love The Lake House with Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. It is such a stupid plot, but like I die for that damn movie. Yeah.
That was me throwing up.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry. He's okay, everybody. But yeah, I feel like she's got a lot of good movies out there. I haven't seen some of the ones that she's been nominated for, but yeah, I do love a good, like, Miss Congeniality 2 is great, because when they're having to pretend to be Tina Turner, and, like, they're at the gay bar, I love it. It's hilarious. It's so funny. Okay, so my question for you is pick one of the two. Like a would you rather. Would you rather have a phone battery on low without a charger, or a phone battery on full without signal?
Full signal, low battery. Because it's like
you're going to do all of them. I just answer is C.
All of the above.
Oh god, I hate multiple choice questions.
Oh, I'm sorry. The low charge, no charger.
Okay.
So, because, like, if my phone went out, I'd be okay.
Yeah. Okay.
You know.
You'd be able to survive.
Exactly.
That's
I can talk to myself.
Okay.
All the voices in my head will come to the party. I don't care.
Yeah, you live your best life.
All right, so I'm going to get a little...
We're going deep.
We are going deep.
Okay.
Tell me about your coming out.
Oh, mine's not really that fun. It's very anticlimactic. So, I was... Oh gosh. So, I would say 8 years ago?
And that would mean 22?
Yeah, so I was 22. I had just turned 22, and I was still in college at this point. I was doing my master's, and it was right around the time...
Oh, she educated.
Ooh, yes. Don't ever go to college. Just kidding. Do it. Do whatever you like. No, but I was, it was right around the time that, like, there was a lot of gay stuff in the media. Like, that was around the time that Glee was very prevalent. And I just remember it was, like, something was like, you have to do it now. I always knew I was gay. I always knew from the minute I was entering this world, I was like, yo, bitch, hey, I'm here.
I never want to go back into something like that ever again.
No, ma'am.
That's what you told the doctor when he delivered.
Yeah, well, I came out early too, like of the womb. I was early, but
you were trying to get out of there as quickly.
I know. I was like, I can't do this anymore. But no, it's kind of anticlimactic because my mom and dad are from the Bay Area. So my dad grew up in San Francisco. Super accepting area. You have the Castro over there. And my mom, was from Pennsylvania, but she moved over here and open-minded or whatever. But my coming out story was pretty, I would say, tame in comparison to other people. I ended up going home for Christmas vacation, and I told my parents, I sat them down, and they were like, okay. It wasn't like, oh my God, we can't believe this. My mom said it eloquently, and she was like, you've had a long time to come to terms with this, so we're just going to need a little bit of time. And so I thought that was pretty profound of her to say that, and that was pretty much it. I didn't really have like a big old like announcement or anything like that. It was pretty
boring.
Pretty boring. I know. Yeah, I told you, not fun. I think I know I was definitely mortified to tell people because you always get that fear of judgment, especially from people that you love because they know you and you are more afraid of what they're gonna say. I've learned in life that it's easy to tell a stranger your whole life story. And if you have to tell your whole life story to your friends and family, it's kind of like, ooh, like I'm a little scared.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, how do you deal with people that annoy you?
Oh, God. You're really going to go there. Okay. So, I basically ignore them, which is actually really is the worst thing that people find that I can do to them because I'm a very outgoing and extroverted person. Oh, okay, Cooper, you can go play. This is real life, people. We're on a couch talking.
It's our animal producer, Cooper.
The pity in the face, boxer in the waist. But yeah, no, because people find that that's the worst thing I can do is not talk to them because I talk to everybody. So if I go quiet and don't even acknowledge, then they know they did wrong and they probably need to leave me alone.
And I've seen that actually. Now that you say that, I feel like I've seen it when we were in chorus. Sometimes I'm like, oh, why is he so quiet? Interesting. But you also don't have any like. You will call people out, and you will go directly to the source if needed.
I don't have time to play games with you, and I will just tell you all I need to say to you in a minute. Like I don't have a problem with that at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like. No tea, no shade, no pink lemonade. As my favorite Jasmine Master says, it's just the truth.
Yep.
So, all right. So tell me about your hobbies. What are you into?
Ooh, great
Not
question.
sexually, but just hobbies.
Oh, okay. Hobbies. So I am a cyclist. I love to ride my bike. I came to San Diego and I got into cycling because I wanted to bike to and from work. And then I ended up loving it. I am kind of boring outside of that. I'm an extrovert, but I feel like I like to stay in, if that makes sense.
So you're an introverted extrovert?
Kind of, or like an...
Extroverted introvert?
No, because I'm an extrovert for sure, but like, yeah, I'm an extroverted... Introverted extrovert, yeah. Psychology people. Myers-Briggs. But I think it's because I love people, but I don't love... like annoying people. So kind of like piggybacking off of that question, like I don't have patience for a lot of people, and my tolerance is getting lower. But hobbies, I think, I like to go out. I mean, it's pretty stereotypical stuff. I like to hang out with my friends. I used to do photography when I was younger, and I've been wanting to get back into that, but that's been on a back burner for, I would say, a decade. I mean, I have like a nice camera. Well, I don't know if it's nice now. It was 12 years ago. It's got like the lenses and everything.
It was nice then.
Yeah. But I feel like I used to be so creative, and then I started working, and it's like I don't have time to really do anything anymore. It's like, okay, well, I got to work, and then okay, I have to like decompress and like watch the news or whatever. I think one hobby that's kind of like not really a hobby is kind of being like a support for friends, if that's like a hobby you want to call that, because that's it. Like weirdly fills me up where it's like if someone has a problem, they're like, I need some help. I'll be like, I got you. Like, and then people are like, oh, you're not like sad or whatever that you have to like help people. I'm like, no, that really fills me up. Obviously chorus, I like to sing. Sometimes just all around the world, you know, I'll sing in the grocery store, and you know, now that we have masks, it's nice because no one can see it's me. But I don't know, I'm trying to think of other hobbies. It's funny, so a fun fact is I don't like sand. So like living in San Diego where we are like beach central, everyone's like, oh my god, do you go to the beach? I think I've been to the beach 5 times. And last weekend
were just
was
at
one.
the beach.
Yeah, that was it was my once a year allocation of beach time.
And you went to Black's Beach.
I know, but I don't get naked. But I just there's something about sand that it's just like it's gritty. It gets everywhere, and like it's on your feet, and then it's in your car, and then it's all over you, and then you're sweating because it's hot. Like this time when I went last weekend, it was a heat wave, and it was like you have sunscreen all over you, you have sand. You're dehydrated, so I like pools. I'd gladly go to a pool any day for like a pool party or whatever, but not a fan of sand. The beach is beautiful, but I will just like, I'll appreciate it from afar.
Okay.
Okay, so your next question is, tell me about a time when you were really excited for something, but it was a letdown when it ended up happening.
Oh, gosh. I think, actually, you know what? It's, the food in Paris when we went. As weird as that sounds, people are, you know, because people are like, oh, Paris is a huge place for food. And it's like, it's got the best food in the world. But when we went, we found that a lot of the restaurants were just the same menu every single time. Huh. So it was like steak frites, and it was like foie gras, and it was just the same thing over and over again. And I'm like, that's great. And let me tell you, the bread and the cheese and everything. I mean, there were days we would just get up and we would go sit somewhere, and we'd get like a baguette and a bunch of cheese, and that's what we had for lunch. Mm-hmm. And maybe I get a tart. But like, I just felt like we went to London, and the food scene there was just explosive. I mean, it was like we found Indian food, we found English pub food, we found Italian tapas, and it was just like there was more of a variety of stuff for us to choose from, whereas in Paris it felt just like the same thing over and over and over again. And I'm not saying that it was bad, because I mean, we had an amazing, for dessert one night we had baked camembert, and it stunk the place up, but it was amazing. Because I'm like one of those people, I'm like, the funkier cheeses, the better it probably tastes. Oh, yeah. So like, I want the funkiest. I'm like, I want to see it like playing Atomic Dog on a, like, for those of you who don't get that, that's a George Clinton and, you know, a funk reference.
I don't get it. Thank you, Paul.
We're covering all age groups and generations here.
So, I'm surprised by that, actually, because I've heard the same thing, that Paris is, like, the place. And my cousin went, and she said that she really enjoyed it, but it's interesting to hear that there's no variety. Is it just, so it's just the same thing everywhere?
Yeah.
Is the food good?
And the food is good. The food is amazing. I'm not going to doubt that. But it's just like, I wanted more variety for when I went there. And it was just like, it felt like I couldn't find that. And I mean, the cool thing is I love when I travel abroad is go to McDonald's. Okay. And see the new stuff that they have. Oh, okay. Like stuff you can't get anywhere else. If anyone else does that, please go ahead and email us at tugayspod@yahoo.com. and let me know. But yeah, no, so that's one time I was really excited, because that was actually my first trip, like, that far away from the United States. Like, I'd been to Costa Rica and stuff, so I've been out of the country, but, like, that one was a trip that I longed for, and it was just like, oh my god, it actually happened. So it was like, okay, kind of built it up, and then it was like, oh.
That's what I'm afraid of, is I haven't really traveled that much, and I have that same kind of fear that, like, I'm building these things up out of our, country, like Greece, Italy, France, right?
So here's another one. I just thought of when you said Italy. It's actually the Trevi Fountain in Rome. Because when you see it in shows and in movies, it looks like it's this giant fountain and it's amazing and it's like lit up and it's gorgeous and everything. And then you get there and it's in an alleyway.
Oh, okay.
And it's actually kind of small.
It's more like a Trevi stream.
Right. I mean, you get there and you're like, oh, this is it?
Oh,
like,
no.
what the?
Yeah, well, that's what they, like, I saw a picture of the Mona Lisa, like, and they, like, zoom back and you see the real, and I'm like, oh.
It is like a stamp. Like, it's small. And then you have, like, hundreds and hundreds of people standing there trying to get a picture, and it's like, I just want to take a picture with my phone, boom, saw it, good, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's one of my things that I would be a little hesitant is I don't want to build myself up to be let down out of the country. I
will say the thing that I built up and exceeded my expectations was actually David. The statue of David.
Oh, I was like, who is he?
I'm like, me here.
Like David. That's not the thinker. The statue of David is...
No, that's Rodin the thinker. But the statue of David
He's cultured,
is...
guys. Clearly.
Oh, she cultured, huh? But yeah, no, that one actually was like, it was even better than I thought it was going to be. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Interesting.
So tell me... Oh, I have all these ones that I just think are great. What did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh my god, that's such a great question. So when I was younger, there were a couple things. When I was younger, I wanted to be like an architect. Oh my god, I'm like remembering all these things. When I was in kindergarten, I had this like purple like briefcase. I'm air quoting right now. Briefcase that my mom and dad got me because it was like I want to be an architect. I didn't have any. There was like crayons in it or whatever. Maybe like. I don't know what else you put in kindergarten stuff.
And what else architects use?
Yes, crayons, obviously. Very important architecture things. Crayons. Whatever stuff. But then for a hot minute, I wanted to be a mortician.
Oh.
Like, right? The people, like the dead person thingy. I don't know where that came from. No clue. And then I wanted to be a doctor. It was always like sciencey sort of stuff, which is, makes sense why I'm in that kind of industry right now. I work in biotech, but I also kind of was like creative too, and I, for some, like a quick minute wanted to do like acting, but then I was like, I don't know what to even do. When you're young, you've got all the things. But yeah, I think if you were to ask me in kindergarten when I was 5, I would have said an architecture person. Architect is the word. There we go. Yep, proving my master's degree right here, guys. It's the end of the day. Cool. So my next question is, how do you take your coffee? I don't know. Do you drink coffee?
I don't drink coffee. I drink iced cafe mochas.
Okay.
Or iced mochas anywhere I go.
Okay.
So that's a plug for Starbucks. If you want to go ahead and be one of our ad sponsors, yes. I would love that.
Same. But, pumpkin spice for life.
But I am very very specific. I'm like, I have my iced cafe mocha, venti, whole milk, light whip, with a caramel drizzle.
Okay.
So
it's kind of like a milkshake.
Yeah, basically.
With a little coffee.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Like some espresso and stuff, or usually I get like a frappuccino or something. We have a coffee place here in San Diego called Better Buzz.
Yeah.
And they do what they call their buzzes, but they're like their frappuccinos or whatever. And those things are really like a milkshake. They're thick and everything, but they're delicious.
Oh yeah, they can be dangerous though, because some of them have a lot of caffeine in them. And then you're just super shaking.
What?
And you're like, oh my god, I'm at work. Yeah, I would love those things. Are so good. I love them.
Yeah, but I don't like strong coffee taste. It's just like alcohol. I don't like the taste of it, so I will make it as sweet as possible so that I don't have to taste that.
There you go. Hey, I mean, you found your drink, and that's all that matters.
So tell me what gets you through life.
Ooh, I like that one. Kind of alluded to it earlier. I think. A lot of times we try and figure out what our purpose is in this world, and for me, I think my purpose is to, I don't want to say change the world because that's very cliche, but I think I always say be a beacon of light in a dark time for someone's life.
That's Miss Congeniality too.
Right? I know. Thank you. We'll take that as a sponsor, Miss Congeniality too, if you sponsor. But yeah, I think what really fills me up is just being able to help people, right? My job, I work at a gene therapy company, so we help people with gene genetic disorders. Right now, it's just babies. Just babies.
Them.
We give life to babies. But it's always kind of been like a recurring theme. Like I've always just been like, again, like I get filled up by being able to be there for people and just kind of like even if it's just doing like saying something nice to somebody or like a compliment. I think that my goal of every day is to change someone's day for the better. And again, it could be like having a conversation or making someone laugh, you know, and then it's like, okay, cool. Like I want to leave this earth not with a lot of money, not with fame, not with fortune is money, but I want to leave with a legacy of people being like, wow, that guy was great. Like I remember him. Like I remember that one time that I worked with him, or I remember that one time that he like gave me a piece of advice, and you know that Joe guy was a real good guy. You know, not your average Joe. You know, I think that's what gets me through. Also, laughter's fun. I like to laugh. Okay, this is a super random question, and it was because I just moved and I was thinking about this. So, what kind of light bulbs do you prefer in your home? Soft white or daylight? Because so the backstory to this is because I
can't with this question.
because I moved and I hate the light bulbs where they look sterile, like you're in a lab. Because I'm in that environment at work, and I'm like, I don't want it at home. It's just like a vampire, and so that triggered this question to you.
I feel like I'm more of a soft light person,
like a warmer light.
Yeah, just due to my angles and everything. So
soft is beauty. Yeah, no, that question. I mean, that was a random question.
That was random. I don't even know where that one came from. So I'm gonna top it with, tell me about your first time.
Oh God. Okay. Ooh. Well,
was there daylight light bulbs, or was it soft light?
They were the warm tone. If we're thinking of the Kelvins, I think it was, or the Kelvins, it was 3000. Oh man, wow! I think I was like 17 or 18. So this is a very long answer to the question, but so I think it was about 17 or 18. Again, I always knew I was gay. Didn't come out until I was 22 or so, but. In high school, you know, you got a lot of hormones pumping through your body and like you want to do things. But I went to an all boys Catholic high school, so that was a layer into it. I couldn't come out then. But my best friend is actually who I lost my virginity to, and he's straight and now has like a baby. We aren't best friends anymore, but at the time, he would just like hang out and we would watch movies or whatever. He would spend the night, nothing sexual at all. You know, it's kind of like what friends do, right? And we were drinking and watching a movie. I don't even remember what it was, right? And there was a scene, and it was like, I think there was a gay thing, and I was like, oh, like, would you ever go down on a guy? And he was like, oh, like, I would have to be really drunk. And I was like, oh, would you like another drink? So like, it can be a little like, you can take that however you want it, but it was not good. Oh God, it was so bad. But it was like, we led up to it. Like, it was like, we'd make out. And then like a week later or whatever, it would be like, oh, like, we're going to touch each other or whatever. And then it like kind of built up to the actual like virginity losing or whatever. And it was terrible. It was so bad. There was like, I obviously didn't have condoms. I was 17. I wasn't planning on that kind of stuff. I think I used Lubriderm as lube. I use lotion.
Because it had it in its name.
Yeah. Well, and because, like, I think it's, like, it was, like, under the sink or something.
But it'll also moisturize.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. And it was not fun. It was not fun at all.
And I thought, all gay guys, like, always have this idea because we see so many porn movies about, like, all guy Catholic schools. So.
Well, and, I mean, I had no clue what I was doing. And I was like, he didn't know what he was doing. And it was just like two guys that didn't know what they were doing. And I remember, I think, like, he went in me, and then I was like, mm-mm. And then I went in him, and he was like, mm-mm. And I was like, well, I think we're done. And that was that. And, yeah.
How very calm of you to say it that way, like, mm-mm.
I mean, I don't think it was like that, but maybe a little different than what I had actually said. Yeah, that was it was. I don't know. I feel like I've never met anyone who had like a really fun, cool first time. And if I have, I don't remember, or maybe I blocked it out because I'm like, damn you, you had a cool first time. Okay, My next question is, if you were to give someone advice on something, how would you do it? Would you be tough love or would it be gentle nurturing?
I am a tough love kind of person. I always have been. Just because it's like, I don't ever want people to get my message mixed up. Like, it's very clear, and it's like, this is what I'm telling you, because you asked me. Hopefully they asked me. Sometimes I do give it unsolicited, but it's like, I'm always like, this is what I think needs to happen. So take it for what you want, but this is what I think. And a lot of that comes from also having a tough life growing up, that I just don't have time to coddle people.
Yeah. Do you think, has that ever backfired? Or
you get one question, bitch.
I'm Barbara Waltering you. It's a subclass A.
Yeah, it definitely has backfired on me. I've had people who just don't talk to me anymore. And again, that doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
It's like, if it hurts you that bad, if you're that butthurt about it, then obviously you didn't want to hear what I had to say. Yeah. And so you shouldn't have asked me.
Yeah. Well, you don't want that in your life. You know what I mean? That kind of, I don't want to say negativity, but it's like, that doesn't add value. What? Oh my God! Are you condo-marying your life? You're Marie Kondoing your people. I do that for real.
I swear to God, if I could, I'd be like, taking my soul. This doesn't give me joy.
Thank you. This does not spark joy. Nope.
All right. So, who are you listening to right now, or who are some of your favorite groups?
Ooh, that's
music-wise.
I'm gonna pull my Spotify because I love Spotify. If you want to sponsor us, go ahead. But I have a playlist that I started when I first got Spotify. God, I don't even know how many years
Only
ago.
one playlist?
Well, so it's called Get It, right? And I think it has 1,000 songs in it, and I just keep nexting. But so, as of late, I've been listening to Christmas music. And, I don't know why, but it's just like, why not? We
have nothing else to look forward to during this pandemic.
No,
so.
well, holidays are canceled, Christmas canceled, Halloween canceled, everything's canceled. But I love, there was a wedding reception starters playlist. And that's got all the cha-cha slide, the Cupid shuffle, the wobble, the YMCA. I know Paul's making a face, but it's just you know what, you like what you like. But I liked Miley Cyrus's new song, Midnight Sky. Okay. But it's it sounds like a combo of a couple songs that I know. And I recently saw A Star Is Born, and so a couple of those songs. But then also
take away your gay card for not seeing that sooner.
It took, I think I was going to watch it, but then it was 2.5 hours and my attention span's 2 minutes, which is why songs are great. But yeah, there's also, I like Above and Beyond. They're an EDM kind of band. And they have an acoustic album. I think it's called Acoustic, actually. And I'll listen to that, kind of just chill out. But then, of course, I'll listen to Lady Gaga, Whitney Houston, you name it, right, to get me pumped up. I know how you feel about Rain on Me, but I love Rain on Me. I will listen to Rain on Me on repeat for 5 hours on end, and I'm okay with it.
So I just had a funny story because it just happened today, but I added that to my SFW playlist on Spotify. Find me on Spotify, SFW, Safe for Work.
I was super fun words.
No, it's a Safe for Work, so these are all songs that I can play at work, but it's songs I love, songs that other people love. It's so it's got 700 songs on it, but Rain on Me is on there, and it came on, and I'm sitting at my desk, and I'm Rain on me. And then all of a sudden the doctor comes out, he's like, can we change this?
You're no.
I'm no, but I'll get you a Steely Dan song coming up next, alright?
Yeah, I didn't ask for a free ride. But also I like RuPaul a lot. Spotify notified me once and it was you're in the top 1%, the only 1% I'll ever be in my life, of RuPaul's fans. And I was oh, okay. But also how many fans does RuPaul have?
But you're in the 1%, bitch?
I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm looking through my...
How many times have you listened to Kitty Girl?
That's on my on repeat playlist. My on repeat playlist consists of Rain on Me, Nails, Hair, Hips, Heels by Todrick Hall, Midnight Sky, September by Earth, Wind and Fire, Higher Love by Kygo and Whitney Houston, Seasons of Love, I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston. I mean, this is very random. Do you remember? And then Heaven. Do you remember the song with DJ Sammy?
Yes.
Yeah, that popped up randomly. This Will Be an Everlasting Love.
I love me some Natalie Cole.
Move Your Feet by Junior Senior.
Junior Senior. Yeah.
Yeah, super random. And then
If You Didn't Know, He's Gay.
I Am. Yes, it's true. Tiny Dancer by Elton John. Yeah. So I think that's a very brief thing, but yeah. Spotify's got a lot of good things. They have a great day playlist to kind of like amp myself up,
right?
Which is like a mix of oldies. I love oldies because quote unquote oldies, like 60s and 70s. Because when I was younger, my dad would play those songs as he was driving us to school, and it's very nostalgic. Like, oh God, what's this song by Elton John? Benny and the Jets. Where it's like the part where it goes, she's got electric boots. Mm-hmm. My dad would always say, she's got electric boobs. And I will always hear that to this day. And I'm just like, man, so it's nostalgic. So, yeah, very eclectic music taste. Yeah, it also depends on my mood. Like, there'll be some days where I'm just like, I want to listen to sad songs that are like super emotional and just like sit on my couch because, you know, why not?
You're so emo.
I am, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this is a two-parter, but kind of. But when you take notes, do you do it on paper or on a device? And when you make a to-do list, do you write it down or do you go off of memory?
No, it's when I take notes, I write it on paper. Even if I'm going to put it into a computer, I always write it on paper first. Especially if I'm writing something that needs to be said. I love to write it down so that I can see what it looks like and read it and stuff. The other part is for to-do list, I'll either put it on my phone or write it down because I don't want to forget, especially if it's like a list for the grocery store or something like that, because we've tried to do that before where we do it from memory and that doesn't work very well because then we're like, the one thing we needed, we did not get.
Oh, yeah. It's like when you go to Target and you're like, I need a toothpaste and you spend $500.
Right. A shiny thing ran in front of me and now I gotta get that.
Oh,
and,
man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm at with that.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm very old school when it comes to like pen and a piece of paper.
I like that though. I feel like I think they did studies that say if you write stuff down, you actually like retain it more.
Right, because it's like if you can write it down 3 times in a row, you'll remember it. Yeah, is what they say.
Yeah, I used to be a handwrite anything, but my handwriting has gotten so bad.
Oh,
I
my
can't
chicken's
even read
trash.
it. As long as you can read it, that's all. They say that if you have bad handwriting, you're really smart.
Well, it's funny because I wrote out my my vows for my wedding, the day of our wedding, and I wrote it out, and I'm like, what's that word? I can't read that word. Hold on, let me figure this out.
Oh no, it doesn't.
But it was a very endearing and charming moment
that's who you
during
are.
our ceremony.
Yeah.
So, what's one thing you want to work on about yourself?
Ooh, patience, 100%.
You said that really fast.
I don't want to say the world's most impatient person, but I feel like I've always in life been very impatient, and my mom is the most patient human in the entire world. And it's funny because, I mean, it comes with age, obviously, but just like I'm impatient, I'm impulsive, so those kind of like go hand in hand. But I just like, there's certain things where I'm like, I'll just like tap my foot and like, oh my God, like let's go. Mm-hmm. But ironically enough, if it's like the DMV or the post office, I got all the patience in the world. Because I think mentally prepared, I'm like, okay, like I know, like I'm gonna go into the DMV. It's gonna be 17 years. Like It's gonna take forever.
Which is weird because most people don't have that mindset.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do yourselves a favor, audience. Book an appointment at the DMV. Then you won't have to deal with the lines. But yeah, if it comes to stuff that like, I think if I'm mentally and emotionally like prepared, if like I gotta wait, then it's fine. But like if I go grocery shopping and there's long lines, which is all the time now, you know, because that's just what it is. Or like if I'm gonna go run an errand, like oh my God, I've been to Bed Bath & Beyond like 17 times in the past 2 weeks, and the lines are longer than Disneyland, and I'm just like, breathe, like don't breathe too heavy, you know, because like you don't want people to think you've got something. But
if you wrote a list down of things you needed at Bed Bath & Beyond,
I'm the kind of person that like.
But you don't have patience for that, right?
No. So my mom, when I was looking for like furniture or whatever, I was like, oh, I can get it on Amazon, and then I'm like, no, I don't want to wait that long. I'm gonna go on Craigslist, and I'm like, oh, there's bar stools, that's what I need, and then I ended up getting them same day. But then I'm just like, oh, okay, like. Yeah, so patience is something I definitely want to work on. I think I have patience when it comes to stuff that's important, but it's like the mundane things or like the things that like normal people have patience for that I don't.
Okay.
Which is unfortunate because that's like the day-to-day stuff.
All right, you ready for the last question?
Yes. So my last question to you is, what do you think the key is to relationship success?
Communication. Like, I am an over communicator, so I talk about everything as much as I can. Unless I'm really upset, then I tend to clam up. But that just means that I care enough to not say something that I am going to regret. So I'd rather stay silent right now and like marinate and think about everything and then come back to what we need to talk about. But like I try, not always successful, I try to not go to bed mad.
Yeah.
So without talking about something. But for the most part, it's trying to communicate as much as possible and not being scared to talk about certain things. Like, there have been times when we've tiptoed around stuff and then we got to the meat of it and it was fine. You know, but like, it's interesting because like, my husband and I have had a couple of fights, but nothing too big. And especially right now during COVID, in the time of pandemic, it's like we haven't really argued or have any issues or stuff. Like it, you know, again, it's like I've said this before to people. It's like this situation either brings you closer or tears you apart. And you know, unfortunately, we've seen that happen. But it's interesting because we love being around each other. For me, he is my best friend and my favorite person in the world. Yeah. So for me, I love being around him. I mean, there's times when I'm just like, okay, you need to go over there somewhere, and I'm going to go play my video game or something. Or you can sit on that side of the couch. You can watch Criminal Minds. I'm going to play Animal Crossing on this side of the couch or something. You know, that's understanding. And I think that's another one of it. It's like communication and being able to tell somebody, it's like, I love you, I just need a little bit of space. Or I love you, but I had a hard day and I just don't really want to talk right now. You know, like even those small communications, it's like, it's nothing against you. Yeah. Like, don't take it that way. Yeah. I just need you to understand where I'm coming from.
That's beautiful. I have a follow-up question. Do you think the ability to kind of pause when you are, I think, because you had said you kind of like pause and maybe not say everything. How did you develop that?
From having things said to me that other people said that I wish I hadn't said that, and I'm like, but you did. Yeah. And me having said things too. So I really do try to just be like, okay, you know what? I'm angry, and I can't, and I don't want to get into this. Yeah. Like, I know we have to talk about this, and you want to talk about it, but I kind of have to shut down now. Because also it comes from this fear of losing someone. Because, like, I don't want to lose it. I just don't want to lose that person. Yeah. And so I'd rather not say anything than risk losing them.
Yeah, I think our words have a lot of, like, weight to them. And once you say something,
you can't take it back.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's out there.
I definitely want to.
So I'm going to leave this on a lighter note. Tell me about your best friend.
Oh my gosh.
And it's not me. I know this for a fact.
So that's actually... that's an interesting question. I don't feel like I have one best friend. I have my best friends back home who I've known for, oh my god, 20 years? How old are you in second grade? 5, 6, 7? A long time, right? My girlfriends back home, I've known them, God, for eons, right? But then, like, they know me like the back of their hand, right? And it's the kind of people that whenever I go home, like, no time has passed and we can pick up right back where we left off. to the point where my best friend Rachel back home was, she knows that I don't like orange juice with pulp and will answer those questions for me if anyone asks, or like they just know me like super, super well. But I would say here, I have gone through a couple kind of iterations of friendships where I moved, I had a really good group of friends, and we kind of dispersed and did our own thing. And then I found my best friend Matthew, and then his friend Katie. They went to massage therapy school together, and we've just become like this cool trio. We call ourselves the Clueless Trio because we're not aware of anything, and it's kind of cute. But they are quirky, weird, wacky. They put up with me. I'm a lot sometimes.
No.
Yeah, I know. Shocking, everybody. The audience is gasping audibly. But I think that they also are just kind of equally as funky. You know, they don't care what people think about about them either. They like some of the same stuff I like. You know, we tag each other in memes all day because that's what people do now. But also super supportive. These days. Yeah, I know the kids these days
with their memes.
Yes. Oh my god. Okay, let me tell you a quick story about that. When I was in college, my classmate Ugochi, she was like, "Oh yeah, have you seen these memes?" I'm like, "What? What is a meme?" She legit thought it was a meme. Also, shout out to Ugochi. I love you. I miss you. You're amazing. I think she's married now and has a baby, but like super cute. I loved her. She was a great friend. But yeah, she called them memes, and I was like, "No, they're memes." And she's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, not a meme, girl. Memes."
This isn't Mariah. This is the damn emancipation.
Yeah, it's not about you or Mimi. So.
Well,
yeah.
I think we learned a lot about each other, and hopefully you guys out there did too, and hopefully you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think, stay tuned for more. Hopefully you get to know us as time goes on. You know, these were just 10 questions, obviously not the whole entire world of who we are as people, but hopefully just a little bit more info on, what we represent and everything like that. Special thanks to Andrew Smith and Nick Stone for producing the show. If you like us, please follow us at tugayspod on Instagram and visit us online at tugayspod.com. You can find us anywhere you can stream podcasts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and let us know topics you'd like to hear. And always remember, stay safe, stay classy, stay sassy, and always stay a little bit trashy. See you next week.